We also have to think about what's going on with United States Census. These things are tied together. The reality is the census is going to have a direct impact on representation. Now, these things matter because tomorrow the Census Bureau officially begins this decade's round of redistricting. And of course, on the clock, we'll start with just with about every state that's going to be drawing new congressional maps. Now, here's the piece. According to the 2020 census, as of April 2020, the population of the United States is 331,449,281. All right. Now, that means based on the population count, the congressional apportionment will shift 7 seats in 13 states. That means that the 6 states that will gain House seats: Texas 2, Florida 1, Colorado 1, Montana 1, North Carolina 1, Oregon 1. Okay. Now we have Florida there twice. I don't know why we have Florida there twice. Y'all, so take your pick. Florida getting 2, they're getting 1. Which one is it? Thank you. All right. So deal there. Now here's the piece. 7 states going to be losing seats. California will lose 1. Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Now let's go back to the 7 states that are going to be gaining. Okay. Let's go back to those. Now, let's go to the previous graphic, please. Previous graphic. Thank you. Now, if you look at that map, Texas, red state. Biden did not win Florida. Won Colorado. Montana, red state. North Carolina won by Republicans. Oregon won by Democrats. Now, but here's the difference, though. Even though Republicans won Florida, the question is, where will that particular seat be? Same with North Carolina. Let's go to the 7 states that lost. Now, California, Biden won. Illinois, Biden won. Michigan, Biden won. New York, Biden won. Ohio, Republicans won. Pennsylvania, Biden won. West Virginia, Republicans won. Same thing. This matters because it's where the loss is going to be. And so when so whoever's in control of the state legislature, that is going to then decide what goes on. The other thing is this here. We now know that of the shift in the population, Monique, the shift in the population has been the result of largely people of color. What have Republicans been doing? Creating seats to benefit white Republicans. And so in Texas, you're from Texas, Texas in the last census gained seats due to Black and Hispanic. Republicans said, we'll gladly take those and basically elevated white Republicans, and then that's what may very well happen again.
Yeah, and it's hideous. And these are the types of facts, frankly, Roland, that I believe need to be dead front in front of our people's faces, because we perish for lack of knowledge. So we have people still, even as we watch people die unvaccinated and due to this pandemic, we have people still in the face of job loss, and in Texas in the face of hideous mismanagement. I mean, just a complete F of a governor. And they're still saying it's all politics, and I don't like to talk politics, and politics doesn't matter, and they're all the same. No, they are not. That is not true. That is a lie that they are perpetuating so that we stay home, so that we do not vote, and so that we do not speak out. And so now we are literally watching as our number grows in terms of majority status, and we decrease in terms of leadership. And the only way that happens is through the corrupt grab for power. And it can only be stopped, as I said, if we are awake, if we are active, if we are standing up, if we are putting on pressure, and if we are doing everything we can to secure the vote.
It really is laughable, Georgia, when you see what they're doing. And I keep saying this is all about maintaining white supremacy, maintaining white power, because they are fearing the demographic shift that's happening.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's the essence of this fight. And so people at home sitting back watching this play out on CNN, on MSNBC, I think that they should be asking themselves before they get to the poll and find out they can't vote because their right to vote has been taken away from them. They better realize what is at the core of this fight, because I think if you go into the districts of these congressmen and women, lawmakers who are spearheading this attack on voting rights, if you go into their districts, I want to know, where are the people who are pushing for them to advocate on this issue in this capacity? Because I have not seen or heard in masses in the public people being concerned about an attack on voting security or anything of that matter. And so really, what is the motivation? What is the intent behind these congressmen and women who are pushing to dismantle our right to vote? And at the end of the day, Roland, you're right. It is not anything in concern of security. It has everything to do with power. And I would even go as far as to say it has a lot to do with upholding the amount of money that they're able to bring in, or their stakeholders are able to bring in.
Robert, the thing that, again, I think when you see what's going on here, you're seeing significant money from very rich Republican donors. There was a story I was reading in the New Yorker. They were talking about who is funding the big lie, and it showed the folks, many of these billionaires, folks who are backing them. And that's the thing. But this is so reminiscent to me of the Civil War and post-Civil War Reconstruction, where you had the bourbon class, where you had the aristocracy, where you had these rich plantation owners who were funding many of these initiatives. And there was these broke-ass folks, these poor white folks who were out there fighting on the battlefield. And I'm sitting there going, y'all don't even realize that you are fighting against your own interest.
Well, the corporate class have figured out how to weaponize and commoditize white supremacy, and making these folks think that as long as you uphold white supremacy, even though you may personally be in poverty, that you benefit from that system. We have to look at what's going on the national level, and then look at Georgia as a petri dish, because that's how things normally work. 2004, we have the reauthorization of the Voting Rights Act, spearheaded by Reverend Jackson, signed into law in 2005. As a result of that, Georgia passed one of the nation's strictest voter ID laws, and indeed it was struck down in 2005 as a poll tax in the state of Georgia. Why is this important? Well, 2006 they reformed it, they put it into place. At the time, you had two previous Democratic governors, Zell Miller and Roy Barnes. You had many African Americans and Democrats elected statewide. After that new voter ID law went into place in 2006, you did not have another Democrat or African American elected statewide for more than a decade thereafter. And because of that voter ID law, they were able to get control of redistricting in 2010 and 2011, and were able to put Democrats in a permanent minority through gerrymandering and packing districts. And despite the fact that Georgia is a state that's 35% African American, there's a constitutional majority for Republicans in the House, the Senate, and every single statewide elected office until Warnock and Nassau. So this is why when we say these fights for voting rights are so important, because they are not just one big swing. It's a systematic effort over the course of years, over the course of decades, to overhaul and take control of American elections against the will of the American people. They always talk about defending and upholding the Constitution. There's nothing more deleterious to the Constitution and to Western civilization than these attacks on voting rights.
Look, these things are happening. They're in our face. People need to understand exactly what's going on. And so we're going to keep folks apprised of this. We're going to keep the pressure going.
Back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Seek.com, we are partnering with them, of course. We appreciate their support right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Check out a couple of their products that you can take advantage of.
And you're watching us on Seek. What's going on? This Quavo Huncho. Right now you in the Huncho's world. Please let the music play.
Enjoy the Seek.com video by using one of their virtual reality headsets. All you do is just pop your phone right here into the VR headset and enjoy the content. You can also take advantage of their 360-degree headphones. These headphones here come in a couple of colors, black and gold, but then also all gold. And so you can check these out. If you want to use our promo code to get a discount, it's RMVIP21, RMVIP21. Then, of course, a portion of the proceeds comes back to Roland Martin Unfiltered, which allows for us to fund the show. And so this is a black-owned company, and we certainly believe in supporting black-owned companies. Mary Spiel is the founder. And so, again, go to Seek.com, use the promo code RMVIP21.